How's it going, guys? You'll have to bear with me here. I just recorded the whole first match here with my mic muted, so that's a little embarrassing, but it's fine. So here we have me on the left playing red purple Uta, while we have Marcus on the right playing the blue Ivankov. He goes buggy, searches Inazuma, and passes to me. I am playing with my leader because I was not paying attention. Anyway, so this is the same deck list that I posted earlier this week. So if you guys want to see what kind of list I'm running for this deck, you can go ahead and check that video out. It has slight changes since then because I did mention some changes I wanted to make, but I am still testing that deck. So if you want to see that deck list, please let me test it out just a little bit before asking. And if you're looking for the deck list, go check out the deck profile that I'm using in this video here. Anyway, Marcus did win the die roll, so he decided to go first. And I am just going to take a hit from the Ivankov. And then he puts 3 on buggy and swings again, and I'm like, oh, okay, I have to counter out of this. I will counter with the known card in hand. I do make a pretty cool play here, I think. You know, not to toot my own horn, but I think this is a pretty cool play. So I go ahead, I swing 5, and then I use my leader's ability to trash a film card. I will be trashing a purple blocker Uta, bringing the buggy down to 0 and ramping a Rested Dawn. Then I go 0 into his buggy, and this is pretty cool because it creates a like pseudo blocker for him to swing at. Plus I get to establish a body and ramp and clear his other body, so that way the buggy doesn't get a free swing on me again, because that was embarrassing. We don't take buggy swings. Marcus is here on his 5 Dawn turn. He's going to put 1 onto his leader, swing 6, I give him a 2k, and then he uses 4 to play the Inazuma, the blocker one. I go ahead and I'm going up to my 7 Dawn turn, putting me on his curve, and then one more turn to ramp will put me a whole turn ahead. So with 7 Dawn here, I am going to decide what to do. So I go ahead, I go 6, and I use my leader effect. I trash a Bueno Festa, I go ahead and I minus the Inazuma, and then I ramp a Rested Dawn. Because Inazuma is now at 3, so I go ahead, I rest 5, and I play the Marco, because I don't want him to block out of this Luffy swing. And I go ahead and I swing 7 to try to get 2 cards out of hand, but he does just block it. Oh, not block it, take it. So now we are at 8 Dawn, and we're going to go to 10 next turn, while he is just now hitting 7. So let's see what his play is here. It looks like he is going to go Buggy Searcher and see what he finds off of this. So far, this red-purple Uta deck's been treating me pretty nice. I'm very much enjoying it, honestly. Very fun deck to play. If you have not tried this deck yet, I recommend just giving it a shot. Load it up on the sim. He does play he gets the refill Inazuma, swing 7 in life. I go ahead and take this because I don't want to give him too many cards. He plays another blocker Inazuma. I don't know if I actually have a way to clear this card yet. I think I do have a Marco. Yeah, I do have a Marco. The problem with the Marco is if I play the Marco, I won't be able to kill the Inazuma, and if I swing with my leader, I actually don't ramp, and I lose a card from hand just to pop an Inazuma. Didn't seem worth it for me, so I go 5, he counters, I go 6, he takes the 6, and I go ahead and I swing 7, and he still doesn't block, but he ends up taking the hit. So now he's at 2 life, and I'm feeling like I'm in a great position. I rest 8, and I play the Douglas Bullet. I didn't start my turn playing the Douglas Bullet here because I didn't really feel like the Inazuma was much of an issue at this current moment. But he does Red Rocket and get rid of it immediately, which sucks because he had 2 life. If that bullet stuck, it was definitely going through. But I didn't play it to rest the Inazuma because I do want to hit 10 Dawn next turn. And I leave 1 Dawn up because I figured that if he's going to swing at anything, it's going to be a character. I'm at 2 life and I have a Rad Beam. So I might as well leave my Rad Beam up to go ahead and counter out of any swing on any of my characters. So he swung at Luffy with 8, I go to 10 with my Rad Beam. A little overkill for me countering, but it's fine, because this turn I did plan on playing the 10-drop Shanks and using all of my Dawn to pop his Inazuma. And now I'm just going to go with the Onslaught, so I go 5, he counters, I go 6, he counters, and he goes 6 again, and he counters with 2 1Ks, and yes. It is looking not so good for Marcus right now. I have too many bodies and too many cards in hand. So let's see how he decides to do this. He goes, what's that, 9? He's going 9 into, I believe, either Marco or Luffy. I give him 2 2Ks to go to 10, so I do survive. He plays 6 and goes Inazuma so he can refill his hand a bit. I didn't even notice he dropped that card before. But I am looking at this. He has no blockers. He has 4 cards in hand, so I'm like, okay, a 9 should go through. If not, he clears all of his cards and it's easy. So I was like, well, if I hit a trigger, we might as well just go 9 in now with a character. And we do go in with 9. He takes it. He bottom decks the Marco, which is just one less swing for me, but it's exactly why you swing characters first. In this instance, it didn't really matter, but then I'm like, okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, we'll just go 12 in. He does take his last life, and I'm like, well, if you took the first 12, let's see if you take the second 12, and he does. So he drew all of his Inazumas, all 4 of each of his Inazumas, the refill and the blocker. But we thought the game was pretty quick, so we went ahead and ran it back in a second game. So I will be right back with the second game. Alright guys, and we're back with game 2 of Red Purple Uta versus Blue Ivankov. Marcus decided to go first since we're just continuing on, and he opens the new Nakama land, which is great for him. That's the start they want to see, so that way they can start going through their deck as quickly as possible. I started with Buena Festa, almost whiff. Last card was a searchable card of Douglas Bullet, which I think, again, is a very good card. I really slept on this card. It's very, very good. Puts a lot of pressure. It's literally Hody plus Yamato in one card. I don't know how else to explain it. Crazy, crazy good card. I did pick up a Guild Tesoro off of the second Buena Festa, which changes my mindset for the game. So now that I have this Guild Tesoro in hand, I feel like it's easier for me to counter out of anything that requires a 2k or a 1k now, because he's in my hand. I can just get 2 cards back. So I essentially feel like I have 2 free cards in hand to counter with, no matter what they are. The problem is, I just have to make sure I can play something next turn. So I might have to take a hit here, which, as you saw at the beginning of this turn when he swung 5, I did end up taking the hit. I also have no way to clear this Dofi on a 4-Don turn. Very unfortunate. But it's okay. We go 5 in, we go ahead and use the effect to ramp. And again, I don't really care what I discard here because I can just get it back with a Guild Tesoro. So I go ahead and I minus the Dofi down, get the rest of Don with a 5k swing to life, and he does take it. He gets a trigger, but he's not going to use it. And with my other 4 Don, I go ahead and play a second Luffy. Loading up on these Luffys always feels nice, especially for swarming. Alright, so he goes 5, and I go ahead and I counter with a 2k because next turn I'm playing this Guild Tesoro and getting it back. But then he does something weird, and he swings 5 with his Dofi. I think he figured that next turn I'll just end up popping it anyway. So yeah, and also if it's breasted, I'm probably going to swing on it, right? But I don't know if that was the best choice. It does slow down what I wanted to do this turn. I was going to just play the Guild Tesoro to get my 2 cards back, but now I'm having to figure out how I want to do this. So I'm like, see, I have 3, I can go the event to clear the Inazuma, and then I can still swing into the Dofi, or I can go Guild Tesoro to refill my hand, but that leaves me with 2 Don. I just go 6 into the Dofi, and he lets it go, and I'm like, okay, well, this makes this turn a bit easier now. So I think I'm just deciding to do the Guild Tesoro route here. Or maybe I'm going to go the, I don't know, did I have a Marco in hand? I can't remember. All I just know is I have a bullet in hand that's ready to be fired. No pun intended. I go 9 into life, actually, crazily enough. Well, no, I'm thinking about it. Almost hit. It's like chess. Since I didn't raise my hand before, it's fine. I go ahead and I blue Azura Dragon thing, the blocker away. I go 8 in. I'm at 2 life, and I have 1 Don up, which means I probably have a Rad Beam that I'm going to use next turn. He gives me 2 2Ks for the 8K swing, which means, you know, he had the counter. Gonna go ahead and use it. It's effective. Alright, so what does he do here? He is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Don, which means he has access to his full Ivankov play. He decides to go new Nakama land first to draw a card. He discards 1, and he's thinking if he wants to discard any more. And you know what? He actually does. He discards every card in his hand but 1. Then he rests 7, and he goes Ivankov, letting him draw 3 and playing 1. And he just gets a buggy, which lets him search again, so at least he gets the refund there. I think he was hoping for the Inazuma that lets him like refill. And so now he's looking at the top 5. Let's see what he decides to grab. He grabs another Ivankov. So at least next turn he has another play. But yep, he's at 3 cards in hand. Then he goes 5 at life, and I'm like, man, should I just take this? Is it worth it? Do I need this Guild Tesoro? And I decide I'm gonna 1k counter out with the Marco. There's nothing for me to pop. And at this point of the game, everything he plays is gonna come out for free, so the Marco is just not gonna feel that good. Alright, so now at this point, I have a lot of options here. I can't cheat out the Sanji card because he just has too much. I mean, I have too much Dawn. Even if I did weird things to get my Dawn down to being under him, as in playing the bullet and then using the bullet's effect, it just wouldn't work out. So I do go ahead and I just hard play this bullet, and I use its effect to rest both characters. Oh wait, no I don't. I took it back, because I was thinking about it. Oh yeah, because bullet actually can't rest 7 costs. He can only rest 2 6 costs and lower. So I was like, okay, well that kind of foiled my plan. It's fine. I was hoping to ramp and kill something, but it's okay. So I go 5 in, he counters. I go 7 in, and he takes. I'm telling you, these vanilla Luffys, they're kind of clutch. Very, very nice cards. I love the vanilla red 4 cost 7Ks. They feel great. So right now he goes 6 into what I can only assume is my Luffy. Maybe leader. We'll see. Doesn't matter. 2k gets me out of both of them. I think it was actually my leader. I think I was actually surprised that he went for my leader there. Then he goes 8 into the Luffy, and I go ahead and I rad beam this because I want to keep my Luffy alive. Again, I want as many swings as possible. Then he goes Ivankov, Crocodile, and I am sad to see this giant board that I'm gonna have to deal with. But it's okay, we're at 10 Dawn with exactly no plays. Wow. So we have to figure out how we want to do this. So I go 5, and I go Guild Tesoro, -1. I go ahead and grab a Luffy and Saga back, which is fine, which means I can actually leader effect here and properly try to KO things. I know he has 3 cards in hand, but I don't know what any of the cards are, assuming that the Ivankov that he played was the one he searched. I have 5 Dawn left over here, and I go ahead and I use bullet effect to rest his 2 characters that I can actually rest, and I go 10 into his life so I can get the double attack, and he does take both hits. 10k is kind of big for 3 cards in hand. That literally requires them all to be 2ks, and I just, I didn't think he had it. But he also didn't hit any triggers, which makes me feel like I'm in a pretty good position, especially since I can survive, I believe, an entire swing from his board. Then I go 7 into his life, and he takes it. I'm like, okay, well, I have one other option, and that is an AK swing in. I will leave 1 Dawn up for a rad beam, which I actually don't have, but I'm like, well, if I get a rad beam off of my life, at least I can use it. So here we go. He has a lot of swings, and I just gotta hope I can survive this one turn. If I can survive this turn, we're good. If I can't, I am dead. So he has a full stack of Dawn to play with here. All 10 Dawn, big bodies. He's gonna start with a 7k swing in life, and right now I'm just like, if I can counter out of it, I'm going to. So I go ahead and give him 3 to go to 8. He goes 9 into my life. I take this because I don't think I can get out of it yet. I drew a 1k counter, which did not feel good. Then he goes 10 into life, and I'm like hoping that whatever it is, it has to be a 1k counter, right? I go ahead and take it. It is another 1k counter, I believe. I can't see what it is. Then he goes 1 2 3 4 5. He goes 10 in, and I go to 8. There's 8 9 10 and 11. I had just enough to get out of the last swing, and I draw for my turn, and with all the cards left in his hand, I will go ahead and just take all my Dawn, throw it on the bullet, and swing in. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, if he did have the counter, I was screwed. But that was it for today. If you guys liked, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you think. Peace.